Hello and welcome to Bit Heroes Radio. I'm Bit vs. Andy, and I'm thrilled to be hosting this podcast with World Eater. World, why don't you say hello?
Thanks, Andy. I'm excited to be back co-hosting the podcast with you. As a longtime player of the game, I know there is so much to discuss and explore when it comes to gameplay, mechanics, strategies, and team building. So let's go over what to expect from today's episode.
Today we're going to be going over some news, particularly the new Tier 20 and some of the new equipment, the unfortunate progress rollback, and we will also go over the previous episode's winner of Fashion Heroes and start this episode's competition. And finally, we'll go over some viewer questions. Starting with Tier 20, the Galactic Trials came out on March 23rd with this piece of text for lore. In Bit Heroes Quest, there exists a domain known as the Galactic Trials, where numerous sects of powerful combatants wage war to assert their dominance and rise as the very embodiment of their venerated deities. Each site in this exalted zone is intimately linked to the battlegrounds where these warriors engage in savage struggle and ultimately succumb to the finality of death. Such is the nature of the Galactic Trials, where warriors battle to achieve ultimate glory and become legend.
Wow, that sounds really awesome. On the last episode, we showed some early leaks from the new zone and raid that accurately predicted the new zone. And honestly, since release, it has been one hectic week.
Yeah, tell me about it. I mean, I've seen people scrambling to find World Boss teams, asking for the latest builds, and I was actually watching the top stats leaderboard just skyrocketing up to now the 90,000s. So I was really amazed at how many people had maxed out Tier 20 gear within just 24 hours when I first checked the leaderboard. By the way, World Leader, are you maxed yet?
Wow, thanks for putting me on blast there, Andy. Sadly, I am not maxed because I am super nub. I have, however, obtained every set and most of the mythics in the new tier. Are there any sets that caught your eye, Andy?
Actually, yeah. So with the recent release of Tier 20, the game has introduced some new gear that has got me buzzing with excitement. One particular set of equipment that I'm thrilled about is the new raid set, the Fyrant Soul. The cosmetics look smoking hot, and the set bonuses are fire. Free-to-players rejoice because this set doesn't need any ancients to kick butt. The Fyrant Soul bonuses include the 2 out of 4, which gains 10% fury when attacking combusted enemies. The 3 out of 4 is a gain 7.5% dual strike when you trigger an explosion, up to 4 times. And the 4 out of 4 is 20% chance to combust strongest for 260% when you hit an enemy. So this is really a very good set and doesn't require any ancients to shine. It also goes super well with one of the new Tier 20 mythic weapons that I'll go over, the Gomoloid Nature Reaper. This weapon comes with fire damage as well, and the following notable abilities. It has a 0 SP cost fire damage to closest 2 enemies and combust, a 1 SP cost fire damage to weakest enemy and combustion 3 times, and the last notable one we'll talk about here is the 1 SP fire damage and combust to the strongest and 3 closest enemies. So all in all, this set and this main hand combined can go crazy with combust and fire damage. You are pretty much always hitting multiple enemies, always applying multiple stacks of combust, and the set bonus just adds more damage and more combust, so overall you will just do crazy damage with this setup.
Hey Andy, I'm pretty noob. Do you think you can tell me what combust does?
Well, that's a good question, World. Combustion actually applies a stack on the target with each hit. Upon receiving the 3rd stack, the target explodes and receives damage equal to the amount of damage stacked.
Wow, that sounds explosive.
This wiki highlight was brought to you by the Bit Heroes Wiki. You can find a link below in the description.
One thing that I would like to throw in there, by the way, is that you have plenty of options for your chess piece. For the first option, I would highly recommend, especially for those free-to-players out there, the Gomoloid Cyclone Armor. It comes with an effect that prevents a teammate's death, then heals and shields them for 150% once per battle. This can prevent your front tank from getting extorted in PvP, for example, making it an excellent choice to take in PvP. For option 2, I would honestly think about bringing Exothermic Jacket from tier 17 up. It is a little more expensive, but it is very possible for free-to-players. It's awesome for ensuring that you don't get deflected when you are hitting those heavy hits, or maybe just preventing you from dying on your first hit when you get targeted out.
Yeah, I know it'll take me a while to get there, but I am eager to get my hands on some of the new equipment. World, let's transition into a bit of sad news from the past weeks.
As you may know, Bit Heroes players recently experienced a rollback of their progression in the game. All progress on March 16th through the 17th was lost due to this rollback. This caused so much frustration and disappointment for many, including ourselves. We know firsthand how upsetting this was, especially after putting in hours of gameplay on day one of the new event.
The team at Bit Heroes saw the unlimited PvP crafting recipe as an irreversible issue, and controversially decided to roll back all progress, even for players who did not use the at-fault crafting recipes. This rollback caused inconveniences for many players, and we want to hear your thoughts and experiences with it. If you were affected by the progress rollback, share your story in the comments. We want to know how this impacted your gameplay.
Overall, we believe Bit Heroes is a great game, and we appreciate the effort the team puts into constantly improving and updating it. We hope that rollbacks don't happen again in the future, and that players can continue to enjoy the game without any further setbacks. Andy, how did the rollback impact you, by the way?
Well, World, not gonna lie, it kinda hit me hard. I had popped a Bitcore and even had a stream for 6 hours straight during that rollback period. I was lucky or unlucky enough to be carried in World Boss for hundreds of Zeals. I was popping Zeal pouches left and right, and finally maxed out my Glarsdos, which allowed me to clear flags I was stuck on and make some progress towards tier 13. And some of those flag clears were pretty lucky, by the way. Aside from that, I also lost the usual day's grind on all 4 of my characters, and that was, again, with Bitcore, so I lost plenty of materials and such. I did just finally get caught back up to this lost progress just on Saturday, so it set me back about, I would say, 9 days. It pretty much could not have come on a worse day for me. The last thing I want to mention is that I did not run the PvP recipes that led to the rollback, so I do feel unfairly affected by the rollback. But what I like to always say, and how I've stayed positive with this, is the comeback is always greater than the setback. So I push on. How were you impacted, World?
Dang, that rollback really hits you, huh, Andy? I'd personally acquired over 300 extra gold coins and around 20 mythic colors as well within the hours before the rollback. I also popped a Bitgore and fully up-tiered an ancient piece from tier 18 to tier 19. Another thing that really disappointed me is that I lost my St. Patrick's Day bundle. I'm still currently waiting for that to be put back into my account, by the way. Sadly, that's not even the worst part of my experience. My Let's Play account, Nubeater, had placed top 5 in PvP and acquired Pumpwim as a reward, only to get replaced with possibly the worst pet in the box, Nerder. Truly a disappointment.
Gosh, that does sound brutal, World Eater. And what sucks is, I'm sure we didn't even get the worst of it. I know that some people definitely even lost more than us, and I know some people that quit the game due to this.
We would like to dedicate a moment of silence for all the progress lost in the rollback. Dang, this music sure is sad. Let's move on to some more positive news.
All right, it's time to announce the very first winner of our in-game fashion contest, Fashion Heroes. We counted the votes in the comments on our last episode, and it was a close decision, but you listeners have finally chosen a winner. And the winner of our very first Fashion Heroes contest is, can I get a drum roll, please? JJ Stuke.
Congratulations, JJ Stuke. Your fashion has impressed the audience and ourselves as well. We loved your cosmetics and your unique look. We will be adding your look to the Fashion Hall of Fame in our Bit Heroes Radio Discord for your amazing fashion sense.
Huge congrats to JJ. Well deserved. And honestly, a valiant effort from the competition, Dylon. I will mention that it came down to a pretty slim gap in the votes, and it was a close one this week. Thank you to both JJ and Dylon for your entries. We were blown away by the creativity and originality of your outfits.
Attention all fashion-forward heroes. It's time for another round of Fashion Heroes, the ultimate in-game fashion contest. We're excited to showcase some of the most stylish heroes from around the world who have submitted their best outfits for this week's contest. Without further ado, here are this week's Fashion Hero contestants. Magic versus Plan is to Run.
So just taking a quick look at Magic here, I'm getting a sort of funky, fresh vibe from him. He's riding the Thanksgiving turkey. He's got the Apro, he's got the specs. Definitely looking funky, fresh. What are your thoughts, World?
Honestly, for Magic, I really do like that mount. Honestly, it looks really funny. Reminds me a lot of the festive times in November.
Now we look over to Plan is to Run, where I would say Magic looks a little bit more goofy. Plan is to Run definitely looks sick. You can see, the particle effects on those wings. You see the elemental effect looking super dope.
Plan is to Run honestly has a really cool mount. It was a free skin a while back, but I really like it. Keeping with that fire theme, super cool. I kind of like this one a little more.
Both of these heroes have incredible creativity and style. There can only be one winner, and that's where you come in. Head down to the comments below to cast your vote for your favorite look. The hero with the most votes will be crowned the winner of this week's Fashion Heroes contest, and will be added to the Fashion Hall of Fame over on the Bit Heroes Radio Discord.
If you're feeling inspired, why not submit your own entry for a chance to be featured in our next Fashion Heroes contest? Leave a comment with the following: your vote for this week's winner, your in-game name and guild tag, and remember to put on your best cosmetics. We can't wait to see what you come up with.
Thank you for participating in Fashion Heroes, and may the most stylish hero win. Alright folks, it's time for one of our favorite parts of the show, viewer questions. We've received a ton of great questions from you all, and we're excited to dive into a couple of them today. The first comes from definitely not a fake account, who asks, does item find affect collars? And a bonus question, if I may, does GVG drop collars or fleece?
Yes, item find does affect collars, and yes, you may add a bonus question. GVG only drops collars, not fleece. All right, and for the next question, it's going to be from Jaybird. What's the best way to spend money on Bit Heroes to get the most progression?
Clearly, cosmetics only. No. Jokes aside, I would have to say NFTs. Right off the bat, if you get a rare or above NFT, you will get permanent permagore. Not only that, but they will also give you, a second character on the same account, which you can use as what I like to call a gem and gold slave. Basically, earning infinite gold and gems for your main heroes. And there's also other benefits, but that's the main summary there.
I fully support both of those ideas, especially the cosmetics. But for me, I like to buy the gem bundles. I always buy them every single time. Honestly, I think I have a problem. You can usually get around 3 to 6k gems for just around $20-ish, $30-ish. I also like to buy most of the event packs depending on what's inside. So if there's a decent boost with a good amount of resources to use them with, that's what I would honestly recommend. If you would like to submit a question for a future episode, feel free to reach out to us in the comments below. We're always looking for interesting and engaging questions to discuss on the show.
Thanks for tuning in to Bit Heroes Radio. We hope you enjoyed listening to our discussion today about all things Bit Heroes. As always, we want to give a big shout out to our community of fans who make this podcast possible.
Andy and I had a great time discussing today's topics, and we hope you found the information and insights we shared to be helpful and informative. If you have any feedback or suggestions, or even viewer questions for future episodes, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. You can also reach out to us on our new Bit Heroes Radio Discord, which you can find a link to in the description below.
Before we sign off, we do want to remind you to subscribe to both of our channels on YouTube so you never miss an episode. Please visit both my channel, Bid for Sandy, and World's channel, World Eater, which you can find links to in the description so you never miss an episode. And if you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving a like and comments, as it helps other Bit Heroes discover our podcast.
Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you next time on Bit Heroes Radio.